So, what strategies do you recommend for developers to manage their stress?
Again, another really good question. Partly because stress can come from so many different avenues, and potentially where it's coming from might dictate the different kind of strategies, right? But there are some common things. One of them, I think, is that I encourage all developers to spend some time to define and articulate their own core values. Okay, and what that means is the things that are most important to them, the things that show how they want to show up in the world, what kind of person do they want to be, the kind of things that mean so much to them that they're gonna prioritize them and do those things even if no one else is watching. Okay, so that helps them know a little bit about themselves. What that also helps them to do is to start to set some boundaries, and that is a big part of reducing stress. Setting those boundaries around what's so important to you, communicating them with the wider team. What's really interesting about stress is we create a lot of it up here.
Yeah.
We create so much stress in our own minds by thinking we know, or guessing about what someone else thinks or what someone else expects of us. And that's where some of this kind of setting of boundaries comes in, because once we start to communicate them, we realize that actually people are quite happy to accommodate when they know. And I think that's a really big thing. Now, I suppose on top of that, that's almost a prevention strategy. If you're currently feeling really stressed and maybe a bit overwhelmed, there are some really simple things that you can do. Finding a good meditation technique that works for you. If you don't want to do that, even simpler is finding a really simple breathing technique. Now, a lot of exhale focused breathing techniques help our bodies shift from the sympathetic nervous system, which is more associated with a state of stress, into a parasympathetic nervous system, which is a much calmer state. And those exhale breathing techniques, they can start to shift us from that sympathetic into a more parasympathetic, and can maybe just kind of calm us down and allow us to get a bit of perspective on the situation. And thinking about that, another really good idea is to talk to someone. Now, if you've got the luxury of a coach, that's great, but it can just as easily be a good friend or a family member. And getting someone else's perspective on the situation is a really great idea.